It's my delight to introduce Reverend Joanne Boruck talking about vibration elevation. And here we go, Reverend Joanne.
Well, that seems to be a common theme. She's turned on today. I want to read you something first. When I was thinking about vibration elevation, the greatest vibration we have is love and gratitude. The greatest gift we have to give is peace. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. And that was from John Lennon. Please join me in consciousness and in quietness by going within to your heart as I speak these words. I speak them in the first person, but I know they're true for all those here who claim this as their truth. In my silent moments of prayer, I sense spirit, the essence of peace. All of my senses are alive and aware that there is only one divine creator I call God. The name is simply a sound. It is pleasant and peaceful on my lips. God is everything and no thing. I have the power, I am the power, and the deeds and words that are part of my daily interactions come from the vibration, elevation of knowing God and I are one. I declare and affirm that is a part of me. To be who I am, a part of my journey, a part of my purpose, to be the peace I want to see in the world. Peace is not a dream, and we are not dreamers, we are knowers. I know there is only peace in the absence of it. There is only now, and the presence is inner peace. It comes from a vibration of love. I now elevate myself into the energy of peace. Nothing can disturb that stillness, that seed of peace, that original essence that is God ordained. I start my day by embracing my oneness in all my relationships, in my healthy body, in my abundant life, in my creativity, and I feel it deep within where all is well. With loving thanks for this teaching, for my awakened consciousness, for my family and friends, and fellow seekers, I am grateful. And I release my word knowing it is returned to me, multiplied and overflowing, and today we say together, and so it is. In this quietness, let us send healing and love to all those who need to know that they are loved. Today I hold my family in the high watch as we grieve, heal, and share memories with gratitude for all that life has given us. Thank you. Today I chose this title. I'm okay, Donna. Elevation, vibration. And I chose it before I knew what my life was going to deal me down the road. And I chose it because I was thinking of music and how healing it is. I was thinking of the gift of hands-on healing that a lot of us have here, and the gift it is. I was thinking about the words of John Lennon and what a gift it is, and all of that is a vibration. And to elevate our vibration comes directly through music, through words, and through actions. Imagine peace at a quantum level, quantum particles of peace. Wow, I was thrown into that first power of elevation, vibration with the spoken word. I've talked more in the last 2 weeks than I have in a long time, believe it or not. You know, silence is golden, but sometimes it's not so healing. And that certainly was my experience in this last little bit. My own family's grieving with the loss of my oldest sister, and the healing journey of my 2 younger sisters going through a cancer journey. So I can assure you that healing happens on a vibrational level by the love that we offer, by the gratitude that we have for the life we have, and it heals us on a spiritual, emotional, and physical level. I've done more Reiki in the last 2 months than I've done in 2 years. And again, as I'm doing Reiki, I feel so grateful to Mikao Yusui for bringing this into our world. I've been really blessed this last little bit to share my truth with my family, to be the experience of inner strength that we learn about here. If I didn't have you and this teaching, I don't know how I would have walked through it, but I did. I walked through it knowing when I come back, I'm going to see Carmen and Edith and Donna and Ruth and Ursula and Floyd and Peter and Crystal and Jane and Sandy and Joyce and Donna and Juliet and Gord and Russ and Tress and Linda and Joy and Kathy and Bonnie and Susan and David. I knew I was coming home to something so great, so much support and so much love. I was practicing this power for good in the universe greater than I am, and I used it for good. So back to my title, Vibration Elevation. I studied some teachings. I don't know if you've heard about Jane Myers, but she's a minister in Science of Mind. And she talked about vibration being the bridge to quantum physics. And then when I taught spiritual economics, she talked about quantum physics. And I tell you, Jane and Susan and Sandy, they just were like, that's the chapter I've been waiting for. And you might think quantum physics sounds like a big word, but really we practice it all the time in our philosophy. Because quantum physics is the understanding that particles and atoms move in the direction of intention. So quantum physics is the study of matter and energy at the most fundamental level, the behavior of particles. It explains phenomena such as an object existing at multiple different levels, like ice, water, and condensation. Or how articles, it's called entanglement, how particles influence each other from a distance, like distance healing, prayer, thinking of someone who suddenly calls you. That's quantum physics. Unlike classical physics that predicts precision properties, quantum physics describes particles as waves, which really is the link between music, your voice. It's all just waves. And when I think about waves, the first thing I think about is, what if you stick your hand on a pool of water? The waves start to move out from your finger, and you don't even see it. The water on top could be still, but those waves, they're still going until they hit matter, until they hit shore. That's called inference. I tell you, this was so interesting for me. sounds, voice, music, and thoughts. The greatest thought of wave particle is gratitude and love. They're waves of quantum energy. So when you speak to somebody, when you sing, I hope from now on, every time Edith strikes that thing, you guys are singing, sending that energy out. But every time you do that, you're working on the quantum level. So think about that the next time you speak harshly to yourself. What is that doing to your own vibration? And even though only you even think it, those particles go out. That's quantum physics. They go out into the ether and they start affecting others. So every time you think something negative, just change it, because that's the good news, is that the same is true for loving words, for kindness, for caring, for sharing. That is vibration elevation. I wanted to try a few examples. One of them is the voice. Do you know when you hum, it lowers your blood pressure? It releases dopamine. My grandma was a hummer. It used to drive me nuts. She would hum and whistle all the time. And she, and now I know that she knew something deep inside her was healing. So I just want you to close your eyes for a minute and just join me. If you want, put your hand on your heart, because you'll feel that as we collectively say, hum. Wow, that goes so deep. And if you hum once and just think it the next time, that vibration still happens inside of you. There's other ways to elevate your vibration without even speaking a word. Do you know that hand mantras are also a vibration, like prayer in front of your heart opens your heart, vibration of love? Or this expression, I love you. You don't have to say a word, but somebody feels that vibration. That's quantum physics. I'd like to think this was new information, but when I was researching it, I thought it's been 100 years in the making. They discovered quantum physics 100 years ago. And as far as I know, New Thought religions, not just ours, Unity, a lot of them are the only ones that have embraced quantum physics to change our life. The proof, quantum physics is the proof in change your thinking, change your life. And I believe that's true. I believe that some of these Bible quotes, I like to look at Ernest Holmes, other teachings, Wayne Dyer, and a lot of different sages, and I like to see in the Bible. And I believe that this is why people hold Bible quotes so close to their heart, because they hold promise. The energy of the words resonate through your bodies as quantum particles. And the first one that came to me was Jeremiah. And I often say this to my kids who are going to Catholic school, my grandkids, when they feel lost. In Jeremiah it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And another relevant verse came from John chapter 1, verse 2. It says, "Beloved, I pray that in every way you may prosper and be in good health, just as your soul prospers." Now those words set a wave in motion if you just let that wash over you. And know that's the truth. Creator has a plan for you to prosper and to be prosperous. So it helped me understand why some people get caught in, I want to be like this or like that. And I often talk about we practice the teachings of Jesus, because that's how we should live our life. And how can we move from whatever's happening today into a frequency of love and gratitude? Well, I had a few ideas. I stopped at 8. But it's my intention that one of them resonates with you that you can take home and say, okay, when I'm dealing with this certain thing, I'm going to change the vibration. Because every vibration begins with a feeling, and every feeling is a vibration. Do you know there's only two types of vibrations, positive and negative? And any feeling you broadcast out there can be positive or negative. When we think or speak, if you're thinking something negative, that happens to me all the time. In an instant, you can turn that around into a statement of gratitude, and poof, your vibration's changed. Because the most remarkable thing about our mind, it can't have two opposing thoughts. If you're thinking something positive, you can't think anything negative. I think that's so great. And really, it's what Ernest Holmes meant when he said, there's only love and the absence of it. There's only peace and the absence of it. So are you focusing on the presence or the absence? I know it sounds simple, but it's not easy. So, of course, the first thing I thought was thoughts. Thoughts are the first level of defense to raise your vibration. Every thought emits an energy into the universe, and I know you guys always know that. But how often do we have negative thoughts? Just little ones, in the grocery store. Crap, I'm waiting too long. Or when I think about my sister and I feel sad. And so then you start attracting people like that. And they say, there's somebody that gets me. They're sad and mad too. I'm going to just go and look them up and ask them how their day is, and we can share our sadness or anger. That's the opposite's true. It's important that you take care of the quality of your thoughts and just learn to cultivate positive thoughts. One example of that is working bingo. If you ever work bingo, people say to you, you guys are so darn happy. And I say, yeah, of course. We know the truth. And on top of that, we're walking around handing out money. What's not to love? So the first one is your thought. And the second one is something that you might have told your kids. You're judged by the company you keep. That doesn't change as you get older. You judge yourself by the company you keep. So the people around you directly influence your vibration. If you surround yourself with happy, positive people, that enters into your vibration. And if you surround yourself with people that are always complaining, be careful, because you hold the switch to change that into a place of gratitude. Every day when I'm feeling sad about my sister, I think, how grateful am I to have had a sister for 79 years who supported me through all my challenges. I got to tell you, she had an amazing steak dinner the night before. She had just gone to bingo, got a pedicure, so she was looking pretty mighty fine when she went home to my mom and dad. And I think, what a way to go. She died in her sleep. And I didn't see her, but I understand she looked pretty darn peaceful. So I try to turn that around. Every time I'm sad, I think, oh yeah, but wasn't it wonderful? So you're judged by the company you keep. That's where Wayne Dyer got the law of attraction. And the third one, I was thinking first about myself, obviously, thinking about my grief, but then I thought about music. Wow, that is a high, high vibration. Aren't we so blessed to have Ruth and Ursula and Donna and Edith to come and play for us? It's so powerful. You know what music does? It interferes with your feelings. Doesn't matter if you're even feeling happy, it interferes with that and brings back this greatest thing. It's called nostalgia and memory. Every song has a memory, a vibration that brings back nostalgia. So if you're not feeling great, put on some good music. I love that. You don't know that Edith plans and plans What song goes with this talk? And probably at a cellular level, she's thinking, what has the same vibration as that word love? Is that right? Yeah. So I think that might be one of the greatest gifts we have. So it's not just the things you think and the people you surround yourself with. You've got these other senses. Also the things you look at. Things you look at, your brain thinks that's true. So you see this, that's too long a story. I'm not going to tell you that one. But you see these weeds grow, and you're looking at it, and you might be thinking, those are weeds. Well, that creates a whole chemistry in your body about weeds are no good and all the things that are associated with that. But if you can look at that same weed and say, wow, I could make dandelion wine out of those weeds, then that vibration lives with you too. So the next time you see somebody on the streets that you think you got a judgment about, change that around, because what you look at, how you process what you look at, really lowers your vibration. The fifth one is just for me and my granddaughter who's living with me. Having a messy environment lowers your vibration. She's in one of the rooms in the house, it's her study room, and when you open the door, you think, oh my gosh, how could she study in this chaos? And so just to clean one thing, to keep your table clean, keep your altar clean. I'm not saying go home and scrub your floors. That would be too much for me. But just have a space that's just yours, that's just clean, that's just pure, that everything on there is intentional. And maybe that just came to me. Everything should be intentional. And then, of course, I talked about the word and the words you speak. Keep them at a high vibration, because the last two are the most important. Gratitude affects your vibration. Isn't it a habit? Gratitude's a habit that you can get into. You could just be grateful for all of life, grateful for each other, grateful for the food we're going to have today, grateful for your car, to have gas in your car. Like, there's a million things. If you just say it to yourself, oh, I'm grateful for that. That is the highest vibration that opens the door to good relationships, lots of friends, and people that want to be around you. There's only one vibration higher than gratitude, which is love. Love is the highest vibrational frequency we can have. And you know where it starts? Love of yourself. The love you have in your heart and in your head and in your life is the highest vibration you can have. Doesn't matter who or what you love. It only matters that you love. You know, the story of the science of mind tells us we are metaphysicians. What a great word. Dr. Reverend Joanne Boruck, the metaphysician, because we work at the metaphysical level. We're not working with concrete things. We know prayer works. We know love works. We know we can help each other feel better by telling them, you look great today. You all look so great today. And thank you for coming, and thank you for being here. And the thing about metaphysics and gratitude and love, you don't have to defend it. If somebody doesn't want to receive it, they'll just walk away from you, and you'll find in this teaching you're going to lose people in your life because they don't understand the vibration of love and gratitude. So when our voices, our musical instruments, our actions, our thoughts, our circle of friends are all incongruent, the result is peace. The peace that John Lennon wants us to think about, the peace that Jimi Hendrix said, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, we'll have peace. So through the practice of gratitude and love, we can change the quantum energy of ourselves and our world. I am a metaphysician, and so are you. So let's raise our vibrational elevation into the ether so it just floats out among the world and sends healing to Gaza, healing to the Ukraine, healing to all the countries that are feeling not heard by the powers that be, and that the powers that be open their hearts and listen to each and every one of us. I am Reverend Joanne Faith, Peace, and Love Boruck. And I welcome you into this quantum field of gratitude and love. And so it is. And now I'd like Linda to come up and do our closing, and Edith